Okay, I think we've got the issue sorted out now. So over here on the right hand side of the stream, I've got um, a camera that's pointed down at my desktop. Um, on the left hand side, I've got, here we go. That one is set up just behind me where the KLP1 is. Right now you can see the side of it with my beautiful electrical tape um, wire management going on. So, um, yeah, so like the title and the description say, this is going to be how to fix the KLP1 230 from Kingroon. Um, excuse me. This is the 230 model. Like I said, it's got a version 2.2 of the firmware. So if you guys didn't know, we should probably talk about a couple things first. So um, this guy has it's basically like a copy of the MakerBase stuff. I mean, the login is freaking MKS and password is MakerBase by default um, for this thing. So one of the ideas that they copied that I think is actually really great is the toolhead. Um, so if we turn this guy, I don't know if we can see it right now, but anyway, in the toolhead, there's another board. They call it the MKS underscore THR is how they refer to it. Excuse me. In the Kingroon stuff. But anyway, basically that's just another board, another MCU. In this case, it's a Raspberry Pi RP2040. I think that's a Raspberry Pi Zero or something like that. Um, so yeah, as I'm sure some of you have done this for a while or worked with electronics and MCUs at all would know is that there's only so many GPIO pins, right? And there's some tricks you can do if you want sometimes to kind of maximize those and get even more out of it. But one of the easiest things nowadays to do is to just slap another microcontroller in there. Oh, that's too much light. Yeah, I should have kept those closed. Okay. Anyway, sorry, opening the blinds. I saw it added too much glare. Um, so yeah, the point is to have more GPIO basically, and you can offload some work to it. Yeah, that's one of the coolest things about Klipper is you can put multiple MCUs in there, and they'll all kind of work together to get the job done. Um, that is a high level overview of what it does, so dig into it if you want. But so anyway, by adding that on the toolhead, now we can offload some of that GPIO, which means we could overall have more things connected. So I'll go through, if you've read my blog articles and stuff on the upgrades, you'll already know some of this stuff. But okay, so let's kind of get into it. Some more background, I guess. You're going to need one of these. This is an eMMC reader. This is MakerBase. It's got an SD card. Oops, SD card. And then this is for the eMMC. That's what we're going to be using. So basically plug this into your computer and then plug the eMMC in here and it allows you to write to it. We're going to use Balena Etcher for that. Follow the same process that Kingroon has. Actually, you know what? I need to add something real quick. Let's see. Probably better to grab a window that's got this in it already. Okay. Let's grab Chrome. See if this works. Perfect. Okay. So, do I have it saved in here or no? Yes, I do. So Kingroon has this, which is kind of cool, I guess. The problem is this only applies to the older one, and it's only got the firmware for the older ones. They had some issues. I guess they were violating like Google Drive's sharing policies. So they took down some of these files. I got lucky and was able to reach out on Reddit and I forget, I think it was the KLP1 subreddit. Someone dropped me a link to their copy of it. So I was able to get that. I was not able to find the THR one though. I don't think I have that in here. Alright, give me a second. That's going to be on my personal probably. So if you didn't know, you can do multiple profiles in Chrome and color coordinate them and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see. KLP1. Do I have it in here? Yeah, there it is. I just didn't have it organized properly. So this is the one we want. Grab that. Okay. So yeah, these two are kind of where I started down this journey because I figured documentation from the manufacturer is always the best place. So this guy, I do have it. Let me see. This is what came with. Ooh, that focus. Try something. Yeah, so this is an adapter. Unfortunately, this is SD to eMMC. So in addition, you need like an SD card reader. So like, I don't know, I guess to be ridiculous, I could use this. So I could stick that. I'd have to stick that in here and then into there. So I'm not sure if it's what the combo of ingredients were that resulted in this thing not really working for me, but I tried plugging this into SD cards and then SD card adapters and then just micro SD adapters, and nothing would see this. It would flash up for a second and go away. So I poked around online a little bit and I found this guy. Everybody was saying just buy one of these. Yeah, it's USB 3 and does SD and eMMC. So let's see. Yeah, we need this thing as well. So this, I know it doesn't look great, if you can tell, but basically I took an old lightning cable, and since I won't be needing that anymore, I'm using it as a breakout for USB. The tool head has a USB port on it, technically, but you have to solder some pins in. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But first, just wanted to kind of do an overview of everything we're going to need. So if you have the skills, you can go right to these guys, the DuPont connectors or whatever these are called, I forget. I have a kit that I bought and it came with the tool, but I can't get them to work. So instead what I did was I just stripped the wires here. The USB standard, in case you don't know, red is power, black is ground, the green is usually referred to as D plus, and the white is D minus. That's data, D for data, whatever, plus and minus. So talk and listen if you're more of the microcontroller world, but it's a serial connection, so one wire each direction. There's the dogs. You'll probably hear that a few times. So anyway, just to make that a little easier, I stripped these kind of long, and then I twisted them together, and then I just tinned them with some solder so that they'll go down in here real nice. And then I used these guys, which are just the ones you can buy, to then break that out. So you'll see me use that in just a second. Um, okay, let's see. Um, I guess I was thinking of just showing you guys the printer not working. Um, I guess I could do that real quick in here. So, ooh, let me adjust this. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, well, it's not on right now, so never mind. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect this guy, take off the power. Here we go. Good boy. Okay. Should still be able to keep this in the shot. Um, so where to start here? Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna. See, okay. So I had this whole thing working, and then I just broke it again on purpose, just to make sure. Um, kind of as a learning exercise. I know I'm insane, but whatever. Um, let's turn on the flash here. Yeah, that helps. Okay. So up here is the THR board. I've already got this kind of partially disassembled. This is something I added that I would highly recommend because you're going to have to be in and out of here. So I don't know how well you can see that, but basically I just took a little zip tie and I cut holes, little slots in this piece of double-sided Velcro. And that just allows you to come up here. You can still get your, um, usually do it that way, but still allows you to get your stress relief on the wires and stuff, but you don't have to cut the zip tie every time because you will be in and out of there. Um, okay, so let me make a little room for myself, and yeah, basically we're just gonna take this sucker out of there. So, this angle's not great. Unplug the fan first. Just gonna drop this outer housing off. Okay, try not to drop it, but no big deal. Set that aside. Grab my little tray. Organization. It's always good. So these are M2, I believe, and then you'll also need a small Phillips for the USB connection. Okay, so now we got that off. I like to push it all the way over because you are going to be kind of, not kind of, you are going to be, um, you know, pushing against it a little bit in order to get these screws out. So, come on. There we go. And if they drop, I just let them drop and pick them up in a second. Okay. I should have done this one first, but because I don't like to put any strain on these cables. You can see they put a big glob of um, glue or whatever that is to help with like mechanical strength there. You need strain relief on the wires because they will break. Just like your hands will break when you get old and they don't want to work anymore. Okay, so pop that guy off. Just kind of scooch it off to the side. Grab these screws. So you'll notice there's multiple different sizes. There's obviously the tiny Phillips. Those are easy to differentiate. Then there's these smaller ones that are holding the board on. There should be 4 of those. And then I go either way with taking the wires off here. It's not a huge deal, as far as before or after the screws. Just try not to pull the wires out. If you can, try and grab it by the plastic. Use a little pick or something if you need to. These 2 are real sensitive though. The last 2 that are on the bottom, those are for the hot end. So it's the thermistor and temperature sensor, and then also the heating element. So I like to kind of do those last. Kind of. Why am I doing that? I hate when people do that. You ever pick up speech things that you hate just because they're like so common? So anyway, I like to do those last because they're short and they can break pretty easily. So now we've got this thing off. Mine looks a little bit different. There's only one thing you'll notice about this one that would be different from yours, and that's these pins right there that I soldered on. If we flip it around, Flash is kind of messing that up, but yeah, see here it says Kingrun KP THR version 2.0. You can also tell because it uses this. The old one had a 4-pin like Molex connector it was still using USB, but in a different way. And then I don't know if you can see that or not because of the glare, but there's a tiny Raspberry Pi logo on there. It's RB240, 2040, excuse me. So yeah, this is our USB, so 5-volt ground, D plus, D minus. When I saw that, I was like, gotta be USB. And then there's 2 buttons here. The bottom one is a reset. You can see it says RST. And then this one is boot. And it says the full 4-letter word boot. Can't fit reset, I guess. Anyway, so I looked this guy up, and let's move over to back to the desk. So, I knew. Did that stop? Oh, geez. This thing quit working? What's going on? Fun. No? It's so weird. There we go. I don't know. Timed out or something. Anyway. So, this tool, or this board, little breakout thing that we built is what we're going to use for this. So if you look up documentation on the RP2040, which is pretty decent, Raspberry Pi does a great job. Anyway, they tell you that if you're connected, what you want to do is solder these pins on, or connect to these pins, depending what level. We've already got the board, so they did the hard work for us. Excuse me. But the developer documentation goes a little more like low level, I guess you could call it. Anyway, so what you want to do is hold down. Well, first you want to connect this up, so let's go ahead and do that. do the ground and the power. And none of this is hooked up yet on the other end. The USB is not connected yet. So go ahead and connect these, whichever order you like. And we're going to take this end, and this, I guess, involves a little dexterity, but oh my god, what is with the camera? Why did it drop out again? What is the deal with this thing? Do I have some kind of weird setting or something? Are we back? Hmm. Okay, I guess. Nope, and then it immediately breaks. Is this one still good? Yep, it's just that one camera, I guess. What is going on here? Let's try turning the resolution down, maybe. Pushing this thing too hard. No. So weird. Hmm. Nope. This thing is weird, man. What is going on? Let's try and go back to defaults, see what happens. Live troubleshooting. This is fun. At least nobody's watching. Why does it doesn't think there's a device? What? And now it's there. Okay, let's see. Is it? Oh, like. Okay. I think that might have done it. Sorry about the focus. That is not great. Um, see if we can. I don't know. Anyway. Um, okay. So we've got this hooked up. USB. We don't need this guy right now, but we will. So for the THR board, you want to hold down the boot button while you plug this in. Um, and break all my USB, I think. My headphones just reconnected too. That's fun. Anyway, it will show up in your, on Windows it would be Explorer, but it'll show up as the connected device. Let me add this one real quick. We'll do, call it Explorer. marks. Okay, so we're looking at stuff. We'll have this guy, rpi rp2. This stuff just tells you, these are just text documents. It tells you like bootloader version, stuff like that. You can open them if you want, but all you need to do here now is, let's go. So I've got my home server here, 3D printer, KLP1. I've got the firmware. We've got, this is the one that I was talking about earlier. This is the one that goes on the eMMC. So this is for like the main board. Right now we're dealing with the toolhead board. So I've got a few in here because I've been playing around with this. Flash Nuke is a cool one. I got that from the Adafruit website. If you guys are ever looking for tutorials or parts, Adafruit's the best. So this is the one. No, that's not the one. Sorry. This is from me trying to get it working on 13. So the big thing that I was missing with the configuration when I was building Klipper for this RP2040 was that it's using UART. I could not figure it out. It's probably just me being a dummy. But when you go in and you look, it lists two devices. There's the STM32 that is the microcontroller for the main board. And then there's a dev TTY S0. I wasn't sure what was going on because you can do like direct USB, you can do CAN bus, you can do like USB over UART, which is what this is doing. And then you have to know which GPIO pins have to be used for that. So if you don't know that kind of stuff, it's like just trial and error. Luckily, I found an awesome website. Let me switch back over to Chrome. And did I save it in here? Yeah, this person just did the best work. So you can see it says KP3S Pro, but there's a lot of shared sharing going on, I guess I should say, between the two machines. So if we scroll down, you can see this is like crazy detailed. They go through like building the Armbian image and everything that you need. So here we are, compile THR firmware and binary, compiling options v2.2. So just want to show you real quick. If we look at v2, you can see no bootloader, USB. 2.2, it's different. There's still no bootloader, but the communication interface you can see here is UART 0 on GPIO 0 and 1. 2 pins, obviously. Talk and listen. So this right here was what was like the key for me. Everything else is kind of defaults, and you can find that like everywhere where they talk about RP2040s. So I was really lost trying to figure out which type of communication it was. So yeah, check this GitHub out. I'm gonna put everything together on a post on my website as well. Do a blog post there, and I'll probably edit this and drop all the links as well. Excuse me. So, all right, tangent over. So, right, we're in here. We want Klipper stock UF2. Oops, I do that a lot. I click on the thing in the stream instead. Okay, so Klipper stock UF2. This is the one that I've got to work with the stock firmware. So all we need to do is put this onto the RPi drive, so we can copy paste it, drag and drop. copying over. Did I lose audio again? Oh, too many USB devices connected. I bet you that's it. Because when the when this thing connected, my headphones went out for a second. Anyway, I could hear them reconnect. It'd play a little beep. So yeah, once you copy the firmware file over, as soon as it's done, it reboots, and then almost instantly it's applied that firmware. I like to give it a little time. Um, that's just because I'm paranoid and old school, and there's sometimes stuff that has to happen, expansion, memory, that kind of thing. Um, so I just give it a few seconds. Should be good now. Let's see, get this guy out of the way. And of course that camera is still being a jerk. What is going on here? I don't know why this thing is being such a jerk. Again, maybe too many USB devices. I've been noticing that causes issues a lot. Okay, there we go, we're back. So you can see this is still on. Alright, we'll disconnect it. Pull these out. So now the THR board is good. So if we want, we can put that back in. I'm going to wait a minute. And what I'm going to do now is move on to the eMMC. So we're going to need this guy. Get this stuff out of the way. Going to need that guy. And then we're going to hop back over to this. All right. Did I get all the screws out of here? One more. We've got two there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We're missing one of the long screws. There it is. Oh, nope, I mixed them up. We were missing one of the short ones. Okay. Anyway, important to stay organized. Okay, so let's close this up. And then I'm going to lay this on its side real quick so we can get to the bottom. So this side is flat, doesn't have anything on it, but pretty much every other side does on this. So okay, how's that look? Oh, that's not bad. Okay, so yeah, this thing's kind of a mess, and I gotta do something better with this for the cable management. Obviously, that's not going to work. This just gets hot and they fall off. Then they're not going to stick anyway. But that's not what we're worried about today. So again, we need the small screwdriver. So let's grab that. This is like a 1 or a 0, I think. Phillips. It might even be that PZ deal. Crap. Oh, almost lost it. Alright, and these guys are usually not magnetic. So here's our eMMC. Sorry, I just jumped ahead there. There's a screw on either side. It's just a memory chip. So I like to try and pull this off from both sides, so get behind it. And just kind of use your nails. There we go. Pops loose. And you can see it's just a header. I think it's 20 pins. Yep. Yeah, there's 1, 19, and 20, and they usually call them out on the board, so it makes it easy to align it. You can see they even do a little silk screen on the board. There's a little square there so you can tell the orientation and everything. And they do the same thing over here. Pretty sure. Yep, eMMC direction. There's even a little arrow. So that's how we want to hook it up. We'll just plug that right into there. So we got that going. Now plug this into the USB port on our computer. If you're on Windows, it's going to complain that you need to format the disk or something, depending if you have autoplay stuff turned on. Don't worry about that. It should show up as boot drive. You can see here, I've got boot H. So don't need to worry about that right now. What we want to do is open a program called Balena Etcher. I've already got this installed, but we can look it up here. Balena Etcher. And this is just, like it says here, Flash OS images to SD cards, USB drives safely and easily. So pretty straightforward. Download it. You can handle that on your own, reading those docs. Let me add a new window capture here for Balena. And Balena Etcher. There we go. So get rid of that one. And this is pretty straightforward. So what we want to do is flash from file. I usually put these, yeah, okay, I was going to say, you might have noticed I have a home server here, these are network storage, and that's great and everything, and, you know, they are, what, I have at least gigabit, I can't remember anymore, but it's decently fast and reliable, but I still don't like to do this kind of stuff over the network, so I've got one of my SSDs here, I've got a temp folder, and I just drop things in here. So I'll just copy paste it from like my home server over. Oh, well, you guys can't see what I'm doing, can you? It's not showing the pop-up. Okay. I'm just navigating, but yeah, I guess just to reiterate then without the assistance of the visual aids. Geez, I can't talk today. Yeah, just don't choose a file that's like on the network. Copy paste it to somewhere local first, just to make sure you don't have any network blips or something like that causing a problem. And then it should find the device all on its own, but if you need to, you can drill in here. It does show up as multiple devices because there's like partitions, but don't worry about that. It usually figures it out. If not, you can come in here, and sometimes you need to do show hidden. So, but you see, it's pretty smart. It's like, whoa, dude, don't do that. These are system drives. So I can tell this is a USB. So I'll continue with that. We just hit flash. This is going to oh, and my audio came back. Yeah, definitely too many USB devices connected. So yeah, this is going to flash. It doesn't take too long. You see ETA is 2 minutes. So let's see. In the meantime, yeah, I don't know. I guess I can plug my site and my blog, man. If you guys want to know more about some of these mods I've already done to the KLP1, I have a blog post on my site about it. I'll point some of them out real quick. So there's a little button right here. You can see this guy just comes in, and I hit it under the board, and then it comes in over here. And that is an unload button, is the way that's set up. I was inspired to add that because my LK5 Pro has, I upgraded that one to include, what is it called? The orbiter extruder. I got that a while back, so it's version 1.5, which was even old then, but it was on sale because it was the old version, and you know that's kind of what I do here is try and keep it cheap but still good. Um, Basically, you can buy the cheaper stuff if you know what you're doing, right? So it requires a little more intelligence or at least knowledge um, of how these things work. So there is a bit of a learning curve, but I think at the end of the day, you get more out of it. You know how to do it now yourself. You understand the fundamentals and how it works, and um, you paid less for the device too. Yeah. Anybody can go out and buy like a Bamboo Lab or something like that. Not knocking them. It's just they're they're easy, right? Anybody can buy one and just be up and running almost immediately. So looks like that guy's validating now. Let's see what else. I got this one is for a chamber temperature sensor. I've got this guy on here for voltage. That runs to, what is it? Oh, right. This is for the fans. So um, I added some fans for an exhaust system I'm working on. That'll definitely come up later. If you've seen stuff on the channel, one of my shorts shows how like crazy strong these fans are. So I'm going to do like a push-pull setup. I've actually got it sitting right here. I can show you real quick. So this is like V1, right? So it's real, nothing crazy. I've got a activated charcoal and HEPA combo. So I don't know if you can hear that. Activated charcoal in there. And then just went real simple at first. So this connects to the back of the printer. Excuse me. Sorry guys, I should have muted for that next time. But yeah, so the idea is, air, there's a fan on the inside, pushes through here, and then I'm going to modify this so there's another fan mount here, and then this will go on the other side. So I can do like a push-pull fans. This goes to a controller, and then the controller um, determines how much power goes to them. It's their 4-pin fans. So I get all the benefits of PWM and all that. At some point, I'll probably try and hook that directly into one of the MCUs so that we can have full like digital control over that. But right now, it's just okay. I've finished. Cool. So now we can just grab that out of here. All right. I'll take the eMMC over here. I'm just gonna pop it back in. They do have an upgrade. So this is an 8 gig chip. I know they recommend the upgrade to a 32 gig eMMC. I haven't noticed any issues, but I believe hardware size, the capacity on here is 8 gigs. But the system image is only 2 gigs. So you have 6 gigs that you can use like as storage and stuff. So like when you send a file to this, there's a virtual SD card thing you might have seen in Klipper. Actually, let's just pull it up real quick. Klipper virtual SD card. Let's show you guys that. So yeah, let's go to the configuration reference. Let's just do a search. Virtual virtual SD card. Here we go. So yeah, that's true. It's good for that too. But most things use this, and it usually just redirects to some local thing. So you'll see like path, and then do they have like okay, there you go. So it'll be some like Linux path, right? Like home Octoprint uploads. Excuse me, but that's where all those files will get written. So then when you're like looking in the UI and you see like your history and stuff, it puts all those there. And I've had an issue. I've only had this happen once with the KLP1, so it does take some time, but might be a good idea to maybe set up a cron job or something, or I don't know what would be the best way to do that, but to automate it somehow to go in and clean up, maybe like leave like the last month's worth of files, but clean up everything else, something like that. Um, because when this gets close to full, it can start to cause problems in, um, and it doesn't really give you an error about what those problems are. So, um, okay, so let's get back to it. We've got the eMMC installed. Um, cool. So that should be everything we need here. Let's flip this guy back over. Okay, we're going to grab our THR board. We're good on the camera. Yeah, okay. Also going to grab this because that's got all our screws and tools. Okay, so we're going to kind of do this in reverse. Again, these two hot end wires are notorious for breaking. So I like to do those first. They're also short. So what I do is plug those two in first, and then I will pull the board around like that. But first, I'm going to grab the screw. And I like to start on the near side, but it doesn't really matter. Try not to trap any of those other wires. And I usually hit this top near corner first. Seems to be the easiest one for me. And then don't tighten it down too much because you need a little wiggle. So just put that one in, give it a couple turns, don't go all the way because we need some wiggle room. Make sure this one's lined up. Sometimes a good trick I've learned to make sure that you're seated is actually turn these guys backwards. And then you'll hear it like drop back down into the threads. That'll also make sure you're not cross-threading. If you feel any resistance putting these things in, it's usually a sign that you're cross-threading. You don't want to do that. Okay, so for right now, just in case we have to take this thing off, I'm only going to put those two in. But you can feel free to do this however you want. Take a picture of these before you take any of these things apart. Snap a picture so you can see where all the wiring is. I did that. I've already got one, and I've done this so many times now. This is like in my brain forever. So I will include mine just in case somebody doesn't do that. Um, so, and we got a bunch of stuff on this one. There's, let's see, this one goes up and around down through here to the sensor, like an eddy sensor or something they use to pick up the magnetic plate. This one goes to the extruder motor, and then we got the two for the hot end, the heater and the thermistor. We've got a fan over here, and then we've got another fan. Whoops, I put that in the wrong one. That would be fun. Huh? This one can be a pain, this upper fan, because the screw is like right there. So you got to get this angle just right. There we go. The wire routing on this thing isn't the best either. Kind of tuck them in there and it'll be okay. Okay, so for right now we're going to leave the case off so we don't need that fan plugged in. So we should have this bottom back one on. But I do want to put in the screws for the USB connection. Oh, of course they did. Where'd it go? There you are. Okay. So again, not magnetic, so you want to guide these guys in if you can. It's kind of hard when you got fat fingers. It's hard for me. I'm only 6 foot, like almost 6'1", and my hands are not that big, but I fat finger everything. All the keyboards, everything. My partner's dad, he's what, like 6'7" or something. He's crazy tall, and his hands are way bigger, and he complains about it all the time. I'm like, I can't imagine how bad it actually is for him because it's bad for me. And his hands are even bigger. Pardon me, take a drink real quick. Okay, so we've got, is this camera still going? Ugh, I hate that I have to keep checking that. All right, so let's double check ourselves. We've got our USB. We've got everything on this tool head board connected back up except for the one fan, which is fine because that's not connected up right now anyway. We connected back up the eMMC. So, all right, let's close her up. Spin it around. That's pretty much how I normally have it. Connect up our network cable and power. And we'll turn it back on. There you go. Hear the beep. You can see the light. So now let's pull up. It's not going to be quite ready yet. Still booting up, but I'm going to grab some coffee while that's going. Yeah, another mod while we're waiting for that. I'll show you guys real quick. So this is just the outside piece. This melted a little bit. I'm going to reprint this out of ABS. That's PETG and it still keeps melting. So you might be able to see that I worked that a little bit, but I just took a Dremel and ground this down a little bit because so this guy hooks on like that. And there's some screws over here for like the belt tensioner, and they rub on there. And it drove me nuts trying to get this thing on and off. So I just ground it down a little bit more. You can kind of see there. It's like, what was that, like quarter inch or something. Anyway, I just took a little bit off so it doesn't rub anymore. I've seen some other modifications for that, like different screws and stuff. There we go. Okay, saying printer is not ready. This is doing stuff live, right? I think I wrote the correct firmware to that. Clippy cannot connect. Okay, so first thing, let's come in and fix the language. So I can actually read stuff. And let's do a restart. What do we have for our config? SP Clipper, yep. All that's good. What do we have set up for the THR board? TTYS0. Okay. Well, that figures it doesn't work for me. Did we do something wrong here? Did I do the wrong firmware? We got it on video, so we could tell from that. That's the newer one. Ooh, which one? Clipper dash stock or clipper underscore stock? Oh, I should not have done that. There you go, guys. That was my screw up. I'm pretty sure we wrote this one. We could go back and check the video, but I'm pretty sure I wrote this one. And you can see the date here, 426 versus this one, 529. 529 was 4 days ago, right? Or so. And this is the one that I built, where this is the one that I downloaded from the site. I think I'm going to rename this one. I think it was like V11 or something like that. Well, let's do stock, and then we can do like RP 2040 UART something. I don't know. Oops. Bad typer. Clipper stock RP 2040 UART. And then call that old. That's the old one. I might keep that around just in case, so I have it if somebody else needs it. All right. So, stuff happens. All right. Okay, so turn this guy off. Cut the power. Network. We don't have anything loose in there. We don't need to turn it anyway. We're getting the tool head out again. So let's go here. Oh, sometimes you can get your nail on there and pull it out altogether, but I needed to give it like another quarter turn. Again, be careful when you do this. I like to grab back here No need to put more strain on the wires than they need. This is why I only put the minimal stuff back in the first time. Oh, where'd that one go? That one fall onto the ground. We'll look for it in a minute. Again, careful with the hot end stuff. These wires are thin. Can be brittle, especially with heating up and cooling down over and over again. Oh no, you guys couldn't see any of that. Get rid of you and you. Okay, so I just took the tool head board back off. No biggie. You guys have seen this. So we're going to need this dude again. This is our talk and listen. And this is power and ground, purple and blue in that order. Oops. Okay, so again, get the USB cable ready. Do not plug it in just yet. First thing we want to do is hold this boot button. You do have to hold it down. Plug it in. There we go. We should have RPi. So this is the one we want. So let's copy that. I'm going to go over to the Raspberry Pi drive. And there we go. It just restarted, so it should be all good. I'm going to give it a moment here. Okay, should be good. Excuse me, I'm sorry. All right, we should be good, so let's throw this guy back in. Just like before. Where did that other screw end up? There it is. A lot of stuff falls back onto this tray. There's holes, so there you go. Okay. I'm going to do this extruder fan first because this one can kind of like hide under the other wires. Helps a little bit with the like cable management. Okay, so do that one, and then I guess the sensor, and then motor, USB. Okay. Power, network. Okay, power on. Okay, so should be good this time. Give it a second to boot up. Hmm. Hmm. What did I screw up this time? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Now what did I mess up? Did I do the right one? F temp. 30 V2.2 2024 0407. Hmm. let's see what the log says. I am confused. I wonder if that's not the right file. Well, you know what? We can use this as an opportunity. Right, so let me show you guys how I did this, because I built the firmware myself. I didn't like just find the file somewhere. Like I was showing you earlier, I got a lot of help from this setup here. This UART was the thing. Maybe I did something wrong. I must have, because this guy's connected, everything's on. I'm sure it's not something that just a restart will take care of. So we're close. All right, so what I did was I used putty. Let me add another window capture in here to see if that will help you guys, or so you guys can watch along. Excuse me. Select window. There's putty. Okay. So let's throw that guy in the middle. So I've got a couple things set up here, that I connect to often. There's the KLP1. Double click this. Now I'm gonna have to add that too. Okay. Let's actually do. We'll just switch it to this. Okay. So where are you? Let me do some window management here. Okay, so we're gonna log in. You can see it's got the old stuff, nothing's in there. So I used Kiowa because it's already on here and it's great. Oops, I can type, I promise. Sure. Keep Kiowa up to date. Right. Make sure you guys can actually see this. There we go. Okay, so we just updated Kiowa. I'll just do this again. Nope, we don't want to do this yet. This was my first problem. So if you guys see, this says v6 was rewritten based on Python 3.8. I didn't have that set up. So you can do it. You just got to set up a virtual environment just like you do with Clipper. But all that's handled in the scripting, so you don't usually have to do that, but under the hood it's using a virtual environment. I believe you could just do the same thing. But I did not. So initially I did, and that caused me problems. So I said yes to this one, and I also updated past 12. Whatever is going on in 13 doesn't play nice with these machines. So let's go to update just so you can see what is on here now. This should be all the stock configuration. Sometimes this thing is slow. Oh, let's see. While this is going, I need to grab something. SMB.conf, I think. Is that where Samba is? Yeah, okay. So, what I like to do is set up a network share on here. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. I was just stealing the code from my home server because I can never remember how to configure this stuff. Okay, there we go. So we've got Klipper. Sorry, let me do some Windows management here for a second so I can make sure I see everything and you guys see everything. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can see in Kiowa here we've got Klipper version 11. I've got Moonraker, Mainsail Fluid, Klipper Screen, Obigo, and Crow's Nest. My configuration is a bit, it's just a little bit more than this. I use the Octo app, and then I've added some things too. So I have my configuration backed up to GitHub, so I can show you guys how I deal with that as well. But actually, in here, what is going on? It's like not rendering the rest of the UI for this. I don't know. Let's get out of there. Okay, start over. So right, what we want to do is go to advanced, so 4, and then I just want to do a build only. So we'll pick 2. It's going to make sure we've got everything we need. So last time I was in here, I was trying something else, building a Linux process apparently. So, oh great, there's some people in the front yard, so the dogs are going nuts. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna change this. Pick the RP2040. No bootloader. USB is not the right one. We want to go UART GPI 10. These options do change as you go through the different versions of Klipper. So um, the only way I was able to have success with this was to flash the eMMC with the stock firmware, so like what we've got now, and then exactly like I'm doing here. Rio, Rio, come. Shush, buddy. Good boy. Um, okay, so yeah, the only way I was able to have success with building this was to do it with the same version of Klipper that was stock. So flash the eMMC, then I SSH'd in. I used the tools here to build everything. So I don't think we need any of these. Right, that does let you set the baud rate if you want. 250,000 is the correct value, I believe. We can come back over here and check. 250K. Yep. Don't need to set any pins on startup. So now we just hit Q, ask us to save configuration. We say yes, and now it's going to start building. So while that builds, this doesn't take long. And all these tools should be there. Like you guys saw, I just flashed the eMMC and then we SSH'd in. So I haven't done any updates. I haven't installed anything. Nothing. Okay, so build is done. We've got our file right now. It's in the out directory, klipper.uf2. So to get to that, first we'll get out of here. And then now we are going to install something. And what we want is Samba. So if you don't know about Samba, it's also SMB and Samba. This is the SMB protocol, which I believe was created by Microsoft. It's like a simple network share or something like that. It just lets you create shares. Say no to that. Don't need wins. Lets you create file shares that you can then access from other machines on your network. This is just going to make it easier for us to grab that file, especially if we have to do this multiple times. So this is going to run through a little bit. It's just going to take a minute. Excuse me. So while that's going, I can grab these. I'm just stealing some config. Oh, I've already got it saved in my Notepad++, of course. Of course I did. Cool. Well, we can get out of here. No, don't save anything. Let's just exit out of there. So, all right. So now we want to edit the file. So I like to use Nano. You can keep your opinions to yourself about your editors, or comment about it in the comments if you want. Whatever. People like what they like for the reasons they like it. It's not on me to tell them what to do, as long as they're not hurting anybody. So I think it's Etsy Samba smb.conf. Yes. Okay. So this is the default file. All this crap's already in here. A lot of comments telling you how to do things because, they're cool in the Linux world. So yeah, I'm gonna come down to the end here, and then what do I want? Let's move this one. I think that's all we need. Change this. Klipper out or something. Klipper out folder or builds. What is that? Was it MKS home Klipper out? Is that right? Maybe. Browsable yes, public yes. That's close enough for now. So what do we have? Home MKS, right? Can never remember those paths. I don't know Linux that well yet. So, home MKS. I had a feeling. It makes sense too. First home, then the username. Okay, so let's get out of here. Sudo service smb D, I think. Oh, wait. Oh, it's the service and the command. There we go. Okay, so now that should show up on here. Let's open another one. Let's see. 4. Clipper out. Can you guys see that or no? No, you cannot. Okay. Let's do it over here then. So that just made a share to this out folder, and then we want this clipper UF2. So let's copy that. Let's put it in our temp folder, mksthr. We're going to replace. So now we know it's this clipper.uf2. Okay, so we've got it built because we're going to have to turn it off, right, so that we can disconnect the thing, and then hook it back up over here and flash it again. So we are done there. We can close that. Let's get rid of these two guys for now because we're going to go back over and disconnect. So power off, unplug. This did not go as smoothly as I hoped, but whatever. That is life. Alright. Nothing loose in here. No. You guys can see that? Yeah, okay. Ugh, these little screws, man. And my old fat fingers. Okay. Back to the M2s. Oops, that's tight, genius. Righty tighty. Ooh, right on the edge, man. Okay. Should have yanked these guys earlier, but whatever. Let's come around the other side. Alright. More over this way so you guys can see it. Power and ground. Talk and listen. Make sure these guys are still good. down the boot button while we plug in. Got our little ding dong. There she is. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I am so rude. If that's the worst thing you ever see me do or hear me do, then doing alright. Okay, so klipper UF2 to the Raspberry. Okay, so this time I'm not even going to plug anything else in. I'm just going to USB. So what I mean is I'm not going to plug any of the GPIO up. I'm just going to hook this board back in just to make sure. So I'm not even going to put the screws in. That's how little faith I have. Oh, you should have seen me like a week or two ago. I was so lost about this. Okay, so boards in. Let's get this plugged back in. Get you some power and some Ethernets. Board's got power. Turn Chrome back on. Come back over here. Let's give it a second. Well, we've got the opportunity. Almost. I think that's it. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, I must have had the wrong firmware the first time. So now that we've got confirmation that all that stuff is correct, we can. And I thought I prepped so well, named those files and everything. Oh well, so let's do that right now, just so I guess I'll have a witness. Not that there's anybody watching right now, but hopefully somebody, excuse me, finds this useful. So, where were we? I guess that would have been on the network, right? So, four, I think it was. We're not up right now, so and I just copied that straight over. So, yep, we gotta reconnect. I guess you guys don't need to watch me do that for like the millionth time. So, since we gotta do that anyway, I'm just gonna pop the board in here real quick. I'm not gonna rotate it around, sorry guys. You already watched me do this a couple times, so nothing being missed. going to do it like minimally though, just for time's sake. You guys don't have to sit there waiting too long. I guess while we're waiting, how do you guys feel about these tool head boards? I like it. I think it's a cool idea. I was talking, a little bit about it earlier. But it seems like a good idea, if for nothing else than getting you some more GPIO. Okay, almost done. Those last two screws on the USB connection, and then we'll be good. So I did try and upgrade everything to the most current version of Klipper 13, 0.13, I believe it is. And then repeat this same process and then write that to the sorry, just lost my train of thought. Yeah, I tried to do the same thing, the same process here. So I upgraded Klipper using Kaiwa, and then it gave me an issue. This is what originally happened. So I upgraded Klipper, and the main MCU was fine, but what it seemed happened was that the RP2040 still had the old version of Klipper on it. So I guess every once in a while there's like an issue that breaks compatibility. So because the RP2040 was on like a version 11 probably or so of Klipper, whereas the host MCU, the STM32, would have been on the latest, which was 13 something. So the first thing that happened was I updated that, and then I got the error message. The like cannot communicate with MCU, something to that effect. That's what started this whole wonderful journey. I have learned a lot, so can't really complain about that. But yeah, I didn't realize that. And that's the thing with these King Rune machines, is like they're so close to being great, like so close. But for the price, like I couldn't argue. I think I paid under $300 for this machine. So again, can't really argue with that. Let's see, where was Crow's Nest? I think was handling this, or I forget. I have to flip the thing. I forget. Is it Crow's Nest? Where was it? I think in here, and then for the cameras it says, what is it? Managed by Moonraker. Okay, so what's our Moonraker conf look like? Flip vertical. I'm going to set this to true. Save and restart. Didn't beep at me. Okay, so now, there we go. So we flipped our camera vertical. That's one thing. So now that we've got this all up and running, now I'm actually happier that we did it that way, building it and everything, because Now you guys can do it yourself. I don't have, I could give you the files, of course. I'm still going to put them up somewhere, but um, I'd rather show you guys how to do it yourself. So now that the machine's back up, let's grab this guy, and then I'm going to put it on my KLP1 firmware. This is for the THR. And it should be this one. So I'm going to copy that name, delete the file, and then change this one to that. Okay, so we backed that up. We've got the printer back up and running. Now I want to show you guys how I do the config. So let's see. First, I forget, do I have that on here or do I have that on my personal? It looks like it's on mine. Right over here. No. Okay. KLP1 230 config. Okay, so this isn't perfect yet, but I tried to kind of clean it up and stuff. I said it's not perfect. I was still learning how some of these plugins and things even work, but most of what I did was just try and reorganize stuff. So I've got this macros config, which all it does is go here. It's just a redirect right now, which might be kind of silly. You could put this same line in your printer config, but just in case, if I wanted some kind of like top level macros, I did this. But really, the macros live in this folder. And then, I don't know if you remember, but the import had a star.cfg. So all of these should go in there. So like factory overrides, this is all the stuff that came in the Kingrun configs that like overrode stuff, right? And then I have some more of them. Some are mine, some are Kingrun's. These are all the additional G-code commands that they added. I guess I see. This is what I mean. Like, there's a couple things that accidentally got in here because they didn't organize it in a great way originally. So, like, I should probably take those out, move those somewhere else. So, actually, you know what? While we're here, let's do that real quick. New issue. Remove other, I don't know, items from G-code macro overrides. Marco. Cool. It'll just remind me. Can I not assign? Whatever. That is not why we are here. So, anyway, everything is organized in here, kind of. Like I said, still working on it. But the point is, this is like a backup. So, we come in here, copy this URL, and then let's reconnect to SSH. If you guys didn't know the default password, username and password Username is MKS. Password is maker base, all one word. That is available on the internet as well, so like the info is. But so anyway, now that we're connected, if we check this out, we have a printer data thing. That's where all our configs live. So if we cd printer underscore data, you see we've got all of our printer data stuff. We got to go one more to get to the actual config, and there's all of our configs. So what I like to do is I go back one level. I do a move command. So I'll take the config folder, and then we're going to call it config factory or something. Backup, whatever you want to call it, does not matter. But the move command will now, you can see we don't have a config folder anymore, but we do have one called config factory backup, and everything's over there. So now what we're going to do, we have git? Forget. Yes, git is already installed. Right, because Kaiwa and everything uses it, so it makes sense. So now we're going to git clone, and then we'll right click to paste in. There's different ways, but in this case, just right clicking drops it, or you could type that out if you wanted. So now we're going to have a new folder, KLP1 230 config. So same thing, KLP1 230 config. Oops, I like to be explicit. And then we're just going to call it config to match the convention. So all we did was sum up what we just did, I guess, is we made a backup of the original factory config by renaming the folder. Then we grabbed my config from GitHub, and then we're just renaming that because it by default it gives it the repo name. We get KLP1 230 config. We're just going to rename it here. So now we've got our config folder back. Let's see, we'll jump over here and give this a restart. I forget where that is. Upload, trusted user, where? What is, am I losing my mind here? Is there not a restart? You can always do that. I just typed in the command. You guys couldn't see it because it was behind here, or firmware underscore restart. Moonraker, Obico, Macro. Oh, right. I don't have all those in there. So my config uses some stuff that we have not installed yet. So let's do Kaiwa. We should have done this step first. Oh, right. Let's go home, and then we can do Kaiwa. Alright, update. No, not update. Sorry, we'll go back. I mean, we could update to a certain point, but really what we need to do is install. So let's go back. I'm going to install some other stuff. We need 9 Obico. Oh, is it reinstall? I need to reinstall. What am I missing from this? Moonraker Obico configs. Unable to open config file, home, MKS, printer data config, Moonraker Obico macros. So I should be able to just see that one here. Nothing's here. This is doing some kind of redirect, huh? Well, let's go see what's there. Home MKS, Moonraker, Obigo. Scripts. That is a weird path, right? I'm not crazy. I mean, maybe a little bit, but home, MKS, Moonraker, Obico scripts. Then 2 dots? I don't understand. So then we would be what? Going back up a directory? Is that valid? What was here? Oops. Okay, so I guess we would be here then. Moonraker, Obico, macros, CFG. Yeah, it's not there. Huh. We've got Moonraker and Obico. Huh. Why doesn't it like that one? Maybe we should try reinstalling, huh? Let's go home and we'll start Kiowa again. And, I also need 12. Kiowa is great, man. That's just a really weird path. Need to fix that for sure. Oh, update. Wrong one. Only got the one branch, right? Yeah. Oh, that's the update one. You know what I should do is search for it. what was it called? It's in the main one, that figures. Okay. So, first thing we do is just, oops, comment that sucker out. Okay. Ooh, what are these? Fun. Let's make a note of those. I already got a bunch of these going in a little text file. Hopefully I'll be able to add all those back in and then update the configs stuff. So. Let's see, home. Yes. Out. Still going. Okay, notes updated. Do we want to keep this set up for yes? Yeah, I'll change my ports. Okay, so which one was this? It was Obiko? Moonraker Obiko. So let's update. Moonraker and Obiko. Right, there's a bunch of these changes. So what I usually do, it's not, oh right, because we're not in the right location. So where am I right now? And we were trying to update Moonraker. So let's cd into Moonraker. Got all that. We should be a git. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna git add because I don't know why they didn't do all of this, but if we do another git status, everything should be green. Cool. So now we're gonna git stash save, and we're gonna call it factory. That's what I usually do. Oh, right, first time. So it wants to know who we are. Give everybody my email. I should have just used the other one. Oh well. Don't be dicks. Not trying to hide. Okay, so we should have both of those now. It'll let us save. Cool, so if we do a git status, we should be clean. We're behind, but we're clean. Excuse me. So now we'll do a get pull. And again, if we do a status, update with master, working tree clean. Cool. So back up. I have to go way back to get it. Could have like typed it by now. Okay, back into updates. Okay, I'm not sure why I just lost audio, but headset disconnected. Okay, so yeah, Moonraker's updated. Let's do Obiko as well. I wonder if that's why it was asking us to like reinstall before, or did I accidentally go into install? But the point is, my thinking on that was that something was missing. The script could tell, so it wanted to do like a reinstall, but I don't know. Guess I could go look at the code. Dude, that was me putting my cup down. You don't need to bark at everything. Oh. Okay, so Obiko is updated now too. So let's go check out that folder and see what's going on. The UI's acting up now. I wonder if I just need to also do mainsail and fluid. Let's try that. Okay, looks like everything went well. The next one is 4 for fluid. Yeah. Should probably hit crow's nest too. Now the UI doesn't want to work. Wonder if we need something that was in those config files. What was the path? It was weird. It was like, did I grab it? I did not. Let's see, where was that? Oh yeah, we could look at it here, right? Okay. So alright, so what's in here then? Pico macros. Okay, there's stuff in there. That's cool. So those didn't seem to be there before. This path is just so weird. We've gotta fix that. Um, that's really all it is, huh? Are we still there? Ugh, I don't know why it keeps disconnecting. Okay, back at home. Right, yep. So, printer, data. Alright, config. Right, we want to include that. And now we need to go edit that one. Underscore. I wish they were consistent with these. It's like everybody just does what they want. Macros.cfg. Okay. Moonrig arrow pico macros CFG. So just go straight there then. Is that different? That seems different than it was before. Hmm. Well, we certainly broke something. get to the bottom of these? I forget. Should have ran a tail. I did something wrong. Service was acting up or something. I don't know. But that looks better. So we should have this. It must have been something in the version. Weird. So yeah, we still clearly have a bit more cleanup to do with these configurations, but storing them in GitHub as a backup is just a great idea. Okay, I guess that's it, huh? We got everything running. Let's see. It should be showing. Where's my internal thing? Where's my other sensor? Oh, yeah. I had not added that yet. So let's go, because that's in my thing here. Is that it? Nope, that's the runout sensor. There it is. So we need to put that in here. So now we'll have our chamber sensor as well. Let's go Go ahead and bounce this guy. So now when we come back home, we should have an extra sensor. There we go. There's our chamber sensor now. And I was curious, did I update this guy too for the run out? Not in here. Yeah. So load and unload. Search run out sensor. It's in the printer config. Okay. That's what I figured. So should have looked there first. Nope, we don't want to make any changes. Yes. Sorry. I had that backwards. Printer config. Let's see. We have a line number 176. Yeah, I mean that's basically the same thing, right? I just added it in this comment, which I think is actually redundant, if I recall correctly. So, cool. So that should all be good. Now that we're here, let's do, where are we at? Right, so we have to go printer, data, /config. We've updated 2 things. Yeah. Still don't see the camera. That's weird to me. Why is the camera not showing up? I did do crow's nest. Okay. Why then is it not working? So let's start at the beginning. So this into macros. There's no other includes, right? think all we have to do is include it. Conf. Again, no fucking standards, man. Yeah. Crow's nest is not a valid config section. Why is it saying that section is not valid? Let's see what the internet says. Okay. Number one issue. No, the camera is definitely plugged in. Why doesn't that show up? That's our camera. Hmm. Hmm. Camera quit working, huh? Says everything's good. What the heck? Huh. I don't understand. Is it good or not? Crow's Nest is installed. I'm so confused. Mm. Susie. This worked before. I don't see why. How can you tell me that crow's nest is not a valid config section? Is an 8080 getting used by something else? I feel like something else is running on 8080. Fluid or something like that. Maybe that's it. I don't know why. Is it fluid and something else? Right? Yeah, you got fluid or mainsail, right? We got fluid, but we also got mainsail. I like mainsail. Let's see. Is that one of the ones I was missing? Nope. Honestly, I don't care. Seems like duplication again here. This is like such a weird configuration from them. I feel like we should pick one or the other. Right? There's fluid versus mainsail. I don't care. Let's go with mainsail. Let's get rid of fluid. 3. I don't think anything is referencing fluid, is it? Moonraker config. Did I ever fix that? There is only one. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Doesn't make any sense. So where is it configured that that's on port 81? Octo, front end port 81, main sale. What the heck? Where's the printer config? Oh, you jerk. I set that one up for multiples, thinking I was going to do that, but we're not. Right now, no camera. So what if we come in here and try and add one? I mean, there it is. Okay. I'm not sure why adding that in didn't, you gotta have it in both places, I guess. Somebody mentioned that was a bug. Let's see. I need to edit this guy. Actually, I want to see something. If we go edit crow's nest conf. Yeah. Hmm. Weird. How can I control that? Can't you do like roll back? No. Aren't there like releases for Clipper? No. They're like releases or something. Hmm. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I can grab it all and then. Oh, sorry. Well, nobody's watching, but whatever. You can't see that anyway. But yeah, what I'm reading here seems like it should be helpful. It sounds like we need to update and then roll back. I don't know. Right now, let's just not do that. And I guess we'll just use the system configuration. So I guess, excuse me. I guess what we'd want to do maybe is update and then roll back a bit. I don't know. I mean, it should work fine right now. Let's check something. Okay. Seriously. What is my password? Password managers, people. They're the best. Rio shush. Mm, right, I have to add some kind of credential or something. Oh, there we go. I have to create an access token. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna take this over here just in case, so you guys can't see anything. So I need. Settings, then developer settings. Where is that? All the way at the bottom. There we go. Personal access tokens. Token has expired. Um, oh, crap. I mean, that's the big thing is I'm trying to log in as me and not Graybush Labs. So let's see. Um, should have set this to be. Hmm. Oh, okay. I was confused. So I think the first problem um, is that I do have it under my personal. Hmm. Collaborators. There we go. Okay, so I had to invite Graybush Labs as a collaborator. Let's see if that helps. View the invitation. Accept. Okay, so now settings, developer settings, personal access tokens, we've got none. Generate new token, KLP1, 230. Oops. Why can't I interact with the other ones? So, install the GitHub CLI, huh? GH. And add them to the... Will it get lucky and all this will work? I think it will. If I understand all of that, all those commands. So, do we have GH now? Okay, so then I want to put some kind of login, GH auth login. Credentials. Okay, yes, that's correct. Code 176D2D. Okay. Well, let's see. Seriously? This is stupid. We're getting off topic anyway. Well, I'm going to keep messing with that so that I can get the backups done properly, but we covered the main thing here. Showed you guys how to recover, how to build for the RP2040 toolhead board, and you know, how to connect and install all that stuff. I'm hoping that I could maybe find a way to like set some pins when the RP2040 comes up. That way, hopefully we could write to it while it's still installed in the machine. That was my idea, at least, or my hope was that we could flash the RP2040 while it's still in the machine. I think we need to set some pins in order to make that happen, but I'm not sure which ones. So anyway, I'll play around with that. If you guys stuck around this long, thank you. You're troopers. Nobody's watching now, but this should hopefully help somebody. I know there were a couple other people that had similar issues updating Klipper, and then now it doesn't work. So this is how you fix it.